Voice, calm, thoughtful. Let me tell you something that most people won't. Healing does not begin with medicine. It begins with words. And the first word that breaks the chain is forgiveness. Voice, steady, warm. Not whispered under your breath, not locked behind pride, but spoken, soft, real. Like this: I forgive you. Voice, gentle, old wisdom. You see, pain is sticky. It clings to your ribs. You can pretend you've moved on, but if the grudge still burns, you're not walking, you're dragging a memory behind you. Voice, wise, observant. When someone wrongs you, they don't just hurt you once. They live rent-free in your head. You replay it, morning coffee, driving home, lying in bed. You think about what you should have said. You imagine justice. You wait for closure like it's a train that's always late. Voice, patient, sincere. But here's the truth. Closure doesn't always come from them. Sometimes it has to come from you. Voice, introspective. Say it again. I forgive you. Not because they asked, not because they changed, but because you deserve peace more than they deserve punishment. Voice, gentle, reassuring. You don't heal by holding on. You heal by letting go. Even if your voice trembles, even if your heart isn't ready, even if forgiveness feels like betrayal, say it anyway. Voice, low, steady, because it's not betrayal, it's bravery. The kind that sets your spirit loose like a bird in an open sky. Voice, warm, reflection. I once knew a man who waited 30 years to forgive. He held on to that fire like it was fuel. But in the end, it only burned him. Wrinkles deepened. His smile faded. His laugh died young. And when he finally forgave, he said, I wish I'd done this sooner. Voice, soft, humor, sage-like. Don't be him. Don't waste your sunrise waiting on someone else's apology. Voice, serene, kind. Say it. I forgive you. Not loud, not dramatic, just honest. And keep saying it until your jaw unclenches, until their name. That's when you'll know you didn't just say the words. You set yourself free. Voice, quiet gravity. Let's be real. Forgiveness doesn't mean forgetting. It doesn't mean inviting the same pain twice. It just means you've dropped the sword. You're done fighting ghosts. Voice, emotional clarity. I remember forgiving someone who never even knew they broke me. They went on smiling. I carried the weight. But when I whispered, I forgive you, something shifted. Not in them, in me. Voice, slow, poetic. The rain outside sounded softer. My own breath came back to me. The silence didn't scream anymore. Voice, focused, real talk. Some of you are waiting for justice, for karma, for the day they finally understand what they did to you. But justice is slow. Karma runs on her own time, and sometimes they never understand. So what now? Do you stay stuck, or do you speak the magic words and walk away lighter? Voice, knowing, timeless. Say it again. I forgive you. Even if you don't feel it yet, feelings follow intention. Speak it. Mean it eventually. Let it echo through your bones like a song only your soul understands. Voice, grounded, old wisdom. You think letting go is weakness? No. Anyone can hold on to anger. Only the strong can release it. Voice, wise humor. It's like unclenching a fist you've held for years and realizing you've been punching yourself the whole time. Voice, soft encouragement. Say it for your younger self. Say it for the version of you that cried in secret. Say it for the you that deserves to move on. I forgive you. Not because it erases the pain, but because it stops the pain from defining you. Voice, soothing pace. You can cry and still forgive. You can be angry and still forgive. You can miss them and still forgive, because forgiveness is not a door you open once. It's a path, and you walk it again and this is about you, the you who deserves mornings without tight chests, nights without replaying betrayal, a mind that belongs to you and not what happened to you. So again, with intention this time, I forgive you. Let that be your medicine. Your quiet rebellion against pain. Your first real breath in years. No more carrying what was never yours to hold forever. This is where your healing begins, right here, with 3 words that change everything. I forgive you. There are moments when the world spins so fast you feel like it forgot your name. Days collapse into nights, and no one knocks, no one calls, no one asks if your soul is still breathing. But I'm here to tell you something simple, something sacred, something you must never forget. I am still here. Not shouted, not tattooed across your chest, but whispered into your pillow, into the morning mirror, into the silence that too often wraps around you. Say it. I am still here. You, the one who has cried in bathrooms, who scrolled through life while your own heart was on pause. You, the one who smiled for others while dying a little inside. You are still here. You didn't vanish. You didn't dissolve. You didn't become the pain. You stood. You stayed. You breathed when breath felt like betrayal. And don't let the world's busyness fool you. Its noise does not define your worth. Its silence does not erase your presence. You are not a page turned too fast. You are not a forgotten chapter. You are the spine of the story still being written. Say it louder now. I am still here. When grief came in waves, you didn't drown. When love left, you didn't crumble. When purpose dimmed, you didn't fade. Even when you wanted to disappear, you didn't. You remained.
Poise, gentle gravity. And that is no small miracle. Voice. You see, healing is not always loud. It's not always found in yoga poses and sunrise captions. Sometimes healing is just making coffee, brushing your teeth, answering the door. Sometimes it's whispering, I'm still here, when no one's around to hear it but the walls. Voice, slow burn strength. I remember a day when everything in me wanted to vanish, to disappear like breath on a cold window pane. But I looked at my own reflection, puffy eyes, shaking hands, and I whispered, You're still here. And that whisper echoed louder than every scream I'd ever held back. Voice rooted and grounded. This is the medicine, your presence, your breath, your ability to be. Even if you're bruised, even if you're tired, even if joy feels like a rumor you haven't heard in years, you're here. And that's enough. Voice steady with grace. Not every day must be a victory march. Some days the win is just not disappearing, not giving in to the voice that says you're invisible, not vanishing into someone else's idea of strength. Voice knowing wisdom. You are here. So say it like a vow. Say it like a drumbeat. Say it like a truth the world forgot to tell you. I am still here. Voice, introspective warmth. When friends stopped calling, you stayed. When life paused your dreams, you remained. When your name stopped trending, you still had value. Voice, because presence is power. Even without applause, even without proof, even without progress. You don't have to be loud to be real. You don't have to be seen to matter. Voice, soft clarity. Close your eyes. Feel your breath. That's the universe moving through you, reminding you that you are alive. You've lived through what tried to bury you, and yet you bloom. Not like fireworks, not like parades, but like a candle in the dark, steady, unshaken, eternal. So say it again. Say it like a sacred mantra. I am still here. Let it rise from your chest. Let it echo in your blood. Let it become your prayer. Because sometimes The deepest healing isn't found in fixing, but in acknowledging. Acknowledging that the world hurt you and you're still standing. You're not a ghost of who you were. You're not just surviving. You're remembering. You're anchoring yourself in the most powerful truth of all. You exist. You matter. You endure. I see you. I see the way you show up, when showing up feels like climbing mountains. I see the quiet courage in your sighs, the strength in your stillness, the grace in your groaning. Breathe in, exhale, and whisper, I am still here. Not as a chant, not as a performance, but as a promise to yourself, to your younger self who felt invisible, to your future self who needs a reminder, to your present self who's walking through fire barefoot and brave. You didn't break. You bent. You adapted. You reassembled. And in the silence that followed every storm, you quietly declared, I am still here. And that, my friend, is what healing sounds like. There is a dangerous lie the world whispers to you in your weakest moments. It says, this is who you are now. That one heartbreak, that one failure, that one breakdown. You begin to believe that your lowest point is your true shape, that the ashes around you are your new skin. Let me say something to you, as one who has buried parts of himself in the dust many times. This is not your final form. You are not your worst day. You are not your last mistake. You are the spark buried beneath the ruin, the ember that refuses to die. There is fire still in you, even if the world only sees your smoke. Do not build a home inside despair. It is only a resting place, not a destination. You grieve there. You rest there, but you do not stay there. Say it out loud. Say it even if your voice shakes. This is not my final form. When shame crawls in, when your reflection looks unfamiliar, when your spirit feels worn and your dreams tattered, say it again. This is not my final form. Because transformation is not a myth. It is nature's oldest ritual. The seed does not resemble the tree. The cocoon looks nothing like the wings it conceals. And you, child of the storm, you have not even glimpsed your truest shape. I have seen warriors with broken swords. I have seen monks with restless minds. I have seen love return to hearts that thought themselves incapable of it, but only when they stopped calling the ashes the end. You were not born to end in ruin. You were born to rise from it. Let the pain be real. Let the anger breathe, but let none of it become your name. Say your name, and then say, I am becoming. The world wants instant transformations, but the spirit moves slower, the soul molting layer by layer. Some days it will feel like nothing is changing. Other days you'll outgrow a whole mindset before breakfast. Be patient with your forming. Be kind to your becoming. When you fall back into old patterns, do not call it failure. call it echo. Even the strongest echoes fade. And you, my friend, are not an echo. You are evolution. Do not measure your life by yesterday's smoke. Measure it by the warmth you still carry. Say it with me now, as if you were building a new self out of every broken brick. This is not my final form. Let these words be your spine when hope feels hollow. Let them be your breath when doubt clogs your lungs. Let them be your compass when the path feels lost. Because one chapter does not define a book. One scene does not decide the film. And one night of sorrow cannot erase the seasons to come. You are being rewritten. Every moment, every tear, every silence is chiseling away what was never meant to stay. I remember once sitting beneath the Bodhi tree, not unlike this moment, feeling more stone than soul. But I whispered it too, this is not my final form. And I kept whispering until the stone cracked and the light began to leak in. You must believe this. Your soul knows how to grow. Your heart remembers how to bloom. Even now, when everything feels burnt, you are still composting the future. It takes time. The rain will return, the soil will soften, and the fire that once scorched you will now warm the next chapter. So write it in the dust. Whisper it to your scars. Tattoo it into your silence. This is not my final form. You are not done. You are not defeated. You are becoming. And becoming, my dear friend, is the holiest act of survival. Thank you, pain. The bow to the bruise. The wound is not your enemy, it is your witness. There is a silence that arrives after great pain. It does not come with comfort, it comes like an empty room after a storm has passed through. Broken things still lying where they fell. You sit among the pieces, and you wonder if this was necessary. Was it needed? Did I have to feel all of that? Let me tell you a secret that only time has whispered to me. Pain is a letter. It arrives uninvited, but it is never blank. It says, "Look here." It says something is off. It says you must change. Or be changed. Emotion, quiet strength. And so I began to say the most unexpected words, not out of joy, not out of comfort, but out of clarity. I said, "Thank you, pain." No, not because I loved you, not because I wanted you, but because you did not lie to me. Pain is brutally honest. It does not flatter, it does not delay. It tells the truth, even when we're not ready to hear it. When I was young, I used to think pain was punishment. I thought it came to tear me down, to break my spirit. But age has shown me, pain does not break, it reveals. It pulls back the curtain, it uncovers the wound that we had covered with smiles. It exposes the lie we told ourselves just to fall asleep at night. I once loved a person who left without a word. It burned like fire in my ribs, but that fire became the kiln where I forged my dignity. I once trusted someone who betrayed that trust. It crushed something in me. But in the rubble, I found my own spine. So yes, I began to say it quietly at first. Thank you, pain, not for the breaking, but for what the breaking uncovered, for showing me the cracks I never tended, for teaching me that I had work to do inside. People ask me, how do I begin to heal? And I say, begin by bowing. Bow not to the one who hurt you, bow to the bruise itself. Bow to the ache. It is your messenger. It came with something to say. When you whisper, thank you, pain, you are not praising suffering. You are acknowledging its place in your becoming. Emotion sincere. You are saying, I see now what I was too busy, too blind, too afraid to see. That relationship that shattered you, it taught you the shape of your boundaries. That failure that embarrassed you, it taught you how to kneel without shame. That illness that knocked the breath out of your lungs, it taught you the value of breath itself. Sound, soft heartbeat, fade in. Subtle. Pain is not your enemy. It is your witness. It was there when no one else noticed. It held up the mirror you kept avoiding. It said, you need to rest now. You need to let go. You need to return to yourself. Emotion, wise, fatherly. And if you are still afraid to thank it, that's okay. Begin with acknowledgement. Begin by sitting with it, instead of running. Sit, breathe, listen. Do not rush to fix. Do not rush to forget. Pain does not need to be solved. It needs to be understood. There is a sacred thing that happens when we stop making pain the villain of our lives. It becomes the map that leads us home. Now, say it with me. Thank you, pain. Say it when the ache is still fresh. Say it when the tears sting your eyes. Say it when your knees touch the earth and you have no more words. Say it as a bow, not of defeat, but of respect. Because here is the miracle. When you honor your pain, it transforms. It becomes compassion. It becomes wisdom. It becomes depth in your voice and softness in your eyes. You will begin to recognize pain in others, and you won't look away, because now you have walked that fire, and instead of cursing it, you thank it. Peaceful wind returns mixed with bird song far off. My child, thank the bruise. It was the bruise that made you reach inward. It was the bruise that made you divine. Do not fear the ache. It is a page, not the whole book. You are still writing. You are still becoming. So bow gently. Say the words that heal the soul. Thank you, pain, because the wound was not your ending. It was your beginning. I deserve peace, the permission slip to let go. You don't earn peace by suffering. You deserve it simply because you are alive. Many who come to me think peace is the final reward, something to be claimed after every wrong has been righted, after every pain has been justified, after every broken thing inside them has been glued together with gold. But this is a lie the world has taught you. A beautiful lie, but still a lie. Say this with me now, child. I deserve peace, not because you've worked hard, not because you've apologized enough, not because you've cried enough tears to water the garden, but simply because you are alive. Even when you don't feel worthy, even when you've made mistakes, even when your heart is cluttered with regret, still, you deserve peace. This is not a permission you get from the world. It is one you give to yourself. Let me tell you what I've seen. I have watched warriors keep fighting long after the war was over. I have watched mothers hold guilt like it was part of their identity. I have seen men shame themselves for needing rest. I have seen women apologize for taking up space. And every time, I wanted to place my hand on their chest and say, "You can let go now." Peace is not waiting at the edge of your perfection. It is waiting at the edge of your permission. The world moves fast. It teaches us that we must always strive, always chase, always fix. But you are not a broken machine. You are a breathing miracle. And miracles do not need to prove their worth. They just are. So when guilt knocks at your door, say, "I deserve peace." When silence feels uncomfortable, say, "I deserve peace." When old memories whisper shame into your ear, say, "I still deserve peace." Your past does not own your right to rest. Your failures do not decide your worth. Your flaws are not disqualifications. They are the human fingerprints on your spirit. And even with them, especially with them, peace belongs to you. We think peace is found in answers. But true peace comes in surrender. Surrendering the idea that you need to earn rest. Surrendering the belief that love must be deserved, surrendering the thought that healing must be painful. I deserve peace. Say it when the world is loud. Say it when your mind is louder. Say it when your body aches from holding too much tension. Say it in the morning, before the world demands from you. Say it at night, when your thoughts try to keep you awake. Let it become your mantra. Not a wish, not a hope, but a knowing. Some will ask you, what have you done to deserve this peace? And you will smile gently and reply, I was born. That is enough. It has always been enough. When I sit beneath the Bodhi tree and the wind speaks in forgotten languages, I do not hear proof. I do not hear punishment. I hear presence. I hear peace. It tells me that I do not need to fix every crack in myself before I am allowed to breathe deeply. It tells me that even the broken things have beauty. Peace tells me, I've been waiting for you. You didn't need to suffer to find me. You only needed to stop running. I deserve peace. Say it again, this time not as a whisper, but as an offering. Offer it to the part of yourself that never thought it was enough. Offer it to the child inside you who was told to be quieter, smaller, more useful. Offer it to the bones that have carried the weight of proving and pleasing. This is your release. This is your return. Let these 4 words build a home inside you. Let them be the roof you rest beneath. Let them be the ground you walk on. Let them be the tea you sip at dusk when the world demands no more of you. I deserve peace. Not because of what I've done, but because of who I am. A soul, a heart, a breath, alive. And that is enough.